Good evening, and thank you all for coming tonight. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Neil Harrington. I'm the town manager, and this is the long-awaited public meeting for the Blackwater River Flood Control Project that many of you have spent several years hoping would be accomplished by now. But we have several folks here this evening, and the gentleman to my right, Byron Rupp from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, will be giving the primary presentation this evening.
The purpose of this project is to alleviate the recurring flooding in Salisbury that resulted from the 1991 bridge widening replacement project of Route 286. The proposed flood wall will provide protection up to a 10-year frequency level. During the feasibility phase, which was completed in 2008, there were various alternatives were explored. We looked at a wide range of different alternatives, and a flood wall was determined to be the best solution to the problem. Our design goals, obviously, number one, was to provide the desired level of protection to you folks in your neighborhood. Minimize the impacts of the salt marsh, which is protected habitat in Massachusetts. Minimize issues with real estate as best as possible, and design a cost-effective project.
Right now we're standing on the end of 10th Street, and we're on the north side of the project, and we're just trying to show some of the wall that we've put in. It's a sheet plastic material. It's a sheet piling, but it's made out of plastic versus steel, and myself, it's the first time ever working with this type of material. And it has a fiberglass cap on it, and it's bolted on with stainless steel fasteners. So what we have behind me here, I'm going to step aside, is one of our outlet structures, and we've got 5 of them throughout the project. And what the design is behind these is, during a catastrophic event, if we were ever to have a failure at our pumping station and we get water behind the wall, the water will build up in these areas. These are the low spots, and the water will flow out these valves, and they're a one-way valve. They're a tide flex valve is what they're called. They don't allow the tide water to come in, but at low tide, water behind the wall can escape, and that's the reason for these structures. And hopefully they will very seldom have to do a whole lot of work if everything else is functioning properly. We're still on the north side of the project, and we're near 9th Street, and when we had to drive these sheets, we set wooden crane mats all along the marsh for our excavator with the drive head to work off of. And the reason for those crane mats were they would give stability to the equipment, and we would protect the marsh at the same time without making a lot of ruts and a lot of damage to the marsh. And what we're hoping for is, once we got the wall done, we would get those crane mats up as quickly as possible, and the marsh would regenerate and bounce back. And we worked this area back in April, but now it's August, and we can see that the marsh grass is returning quite nicely, and it's returning back to its natural state, and that's what we're hoping for. All right, we're on what we refer to as Humphreys Avenue right now, and it's the last connector street between 11th and 12th Street. And this is kind of ground zero of this entire project. This is where we're going to be building our pump station, and any water that comes in that gets in behind the wall, all the storm water that we're going to handle throughout this whole neighborhood, we're going to be capturing in our storm drainage system. It comes to this area, and it comes into one of our first big holding tank here, which we allow fines to settle out. The water can gravity feed out of here under normal circumstances, and it will just drain right out to the outlet on the marsh itself. And during a very severe storm, when our pumping station has to start working, we will have a 3-chamber pump system that will pump the water directly out of here into the marsh to move it very quickly. This is a big cofferdam out of steel sheeting, you see, and we had to put this in to give ourselves a a protected area for the workers and an area for us to de-water to do all this work. And that's what you're seeing out here in front of me. This retaining wall is going to be right on the side of the street, and it's going to have a sidewalk in front of it with a nice curb, and people will be able to come down here and see the plastic sheeting will come right into the wall and marry up on both sides. And then that building off to the distance over there, that's the generator building, and we've got it built up on pilings with a thickened concrete slab, and it's a very sturdy building that'll house a very large gas generator that will, if the power ever goes out, that will be our backup power supply to keep this pump station running. All right, right now we're on 12th Street, and we just wanted to show you this because there's a lot of work happening in 11th Street and 12th Street as far as we're putting in all new storm drainage lines. And one of the difficulties we ran into is to get the proper elevation on these drain lines. It came right into contact with the gas and water lines, so we had to make sure that our water lines were well below frost level, below our drainage lines, and we had to do a lot of work moving the gas lines. So when we just finished this work last week, we had National Grid here with us, and as we excavated, they would cut off lines, cap them, we would move through with our pipe work, and then they would come back and put the gas lines back in for us. So this work has been completed. The next step further down the road, this will all get ground, this entire street, and it'll get repaved. In the background behind me is just another shot of looking down at the generator building, and you can see the color scheme coming together now on the generator building. And we had input from the local residents as far as the colors on the generator building, and we wanted it to still kind of have the feel of what some of the building style is in the neighborhood, like a New England style feel to it, beach feel. So that's what's going on with the generator building. So we're still working, doing some fine tuning on some of our catch basins here, and moving forward. All right, right now we're on the south side of the project, and we're showing you the wall that's off of 12th Street. It encompasses the end of Lewis Street and the end of Florence Street. And what you're seeing, looking this direction, we're looking out towards the marsh, towards the Blackwater River itself. The wall just meanders right through the neighborhood, goes down between all the homes here, and then ends literally in the driveway of the last house on the end of 12th Street. And we have two outlet structures on this side also, one at the end of Lewis Street, one at the end of Florence Street. And this wall on this side also has all brand new drainage that's been installed behind the wall. All this water on the surface in this entire area will also make its way to the pump station during a large storm with a lot of rainfall. Okay, right here, this was the last section of wall we did. We finished this back in July, late July. So you can see how the marsh hasn't recovered yet from the crane mats sitting out here, but we know that the marsh is starting to go to seed right now. And just like with the north side, we're confident that this will all grow back in, hopefully starting this fall, and then next spring finish recovering. There are some invasive species in different areas along the whole project. There are some up in that far corner you can see. They're called Phragmites, And we're going to be doing a treatment on them, an herbicide treatment here in the next couple weeks to eliminate them because they are an invasive, and then so they're not choking out any of this marsh grass. Just to kind of summarize the final details of the project, we're 3/4 done right now. We're at about the 75% mark. We're shooting to be done by November 1st. The contractor has till December to, by contract, have the job finished, but they're shooting to be done early. Everybody's, supporting them to get done early. And right now we're on time, we're on budget, which is very significant, and the project's been going well. We're at the end of August, Labor Day's coming up, and things will get a little easier for us once we get past the Labor Day weekend. There won't be as many vehicles and people around, and for us to try to work around and be disturbing them. So we're looking forward to just get past Labor Day and keep going and get finished on time.
All right, so good afternoon. Hello, my name is David Fox, owner of Skyview Drone Productions. Today we're out here at Blackwater project filming a little bit for the city of Salisbury, town of Salisbury. What we have behind me is the drone that I used. It's a Blade Chroma 4K. Been flying the drone since February of this year, and it's done quite well. Please check out my Facebook page. Again, it's Skyview Drone Productions. So the features on this drone that helped on this project to videotape us today was the fact that we had a 4K camera on there, CG03 plus, 4K, high definition, 1080p. You'll see the great resolution with that. Allowed us to take different angles, heights, speed, as well as slow speed, fast speed. Drone lasted about a half hour up in the sky. Perfect. Prior to flying, I called Plum Island Airport to let them know that I'd be over here at this project for flying for roughly about an hour. And the features of this is that has a built-in screen on it, on the controller, which allows you to see the drone at all times and let you know how many satellites are connected to it, your height, your destination, as well as your altitude, along with your battery life. I may have even, just go up, do some shots here, and then go to another section. Okay. And bring it back down.
And then as far as distance, how far away can that thing get from you? I know we talked about height, but I'm talking about on a plane.
It can get up there. I could essentially get over to those trees, no problem.
Real.
What's it do here? It goes back in?
Yeah, so what we'll end up doing, you can shoot all this through here and then we'll follow the wall right around. It's kind of